Okay, we're starting right now. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We have a few of our panelists missing. We're just going to give another minute or so, and we'll get started. So then I'll share my screen. All right, so I forgot how to share. Here we go. All right, how many of our folks we have joining now? Oh, we got Latrell. Awesome. Latrell, can you hear me? Okay.
Hey Keith, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, perfect.
Should we be able to see your screen yet, Keith?
Yeah, I'm working on that now. Let me
Oh, okay.
turn it on. Let's share. And how about this guy? Let me know if you're able to see my screen, okay?
It's loading. Yep, we can see it.
All right, let me go into presentation mode. All right, how many of our panelists we have? I got Vinky, welcome. Thanks for joining.
Hello, Keith.
Hannah, Latrell, no lesson is on. I still don't have AJ, but so he'll follow it. Hannah, were you able to IM AJ as well? And I think AJ is probably a little bit more important than Chris since they have the same AOR in the in regards to these slides. They do. I think we can use either of them.
Yeah, I messaged AJ, Chris, and
Okay. It looks like thus far we have 96 participants in this climbing quite fast. So I'll go ahead and get started. And let me go into presentation mode. Are you guys able to see my screen okay? Still?
We're not seeing the presentation mode. We're seeing the PowerPoint as it would be worked on, I think.
Maybe I'm sharing the wrong screen there. Hang on. Let's fix that. There we go. Let's try this screen too. How about that?
Yep, perfect.
Excellent. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Keith Criswell. I'm the program manager for the Service Diagnostic Commercial Tool Program. We're going to talk about DiagnosticLink 821 and some of its features. We would like to open up with our panelists. We don't have everyone at the moment, but we'll go ahead and get started and fill in the blanks best we can until our other panelists join. So what I'll do is go in order. Again, my name is Keith Criswell. I work for Mike Evans here at the Detroit corporate office. I'm responsible for the validation and the DiagnosticLink tool releases in our commercial tool program. I'll start with in order here. I'll start with Mr. Tom Jenkins. Tom, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Good afternoon. Good morning to those on the West Coast. Tom Jenkins here. I also work for Mike Evans, mainly on special tooling. However, I also have some responsibility on DiagnosticLink for some special projects.
Awesome. Vinky.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Venkatesh Sinha from Snap-on. I'm here to support any USB Link 3 or any USB Link 2 related questions that anybody might have. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hannah?
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Kubiak. I work pretty closely alongside Keith Criswell and helping support DiagnosticLink as well as invoicing.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. Leston?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Leston. I'm going to be presenting on some new autonomous panels. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. And Dominic, welcome. And thank you, Dominic, for joining.
Yeah, I apologize for being a little tardy there. I am Dominic Hall. I am the supervisor for the diagnostics team in Detroit for Powertrain. Our team handles troubleshooting procedures, diagnostic link validation, and some of the requirements procedures for those.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'd like to thank all our panelists. We still have maybe one missing. So Leslie, I may lean on you if we need to talk about any of the the 5th gen Cascadia slides until AJ can work out any details or technical issues he's having. All right, let's get into it. So these are some of the
Sorry, Keith, just one
yes.
administrative thing here. Do we want
Yep.
questions in the chat? How do you want to address questions or?
In the past, so Hannah handles the Q&A. I think we have it enabled where they can raise hands and do questions in the chat
Perfect.
as well. Yep. So I'll talk about the Diagnostic Link 8.21 improvements and enhancements. And we have one of our panelists will cover the 5th gen Cascadia vehicle supported new support. And as Leston mentioned, the AP4 autonomous, we'll touch on that. And Dominic or AJ and Leston can cover the support for the newly added panels. We'll go into the FCCC EB2 Gen 2 school bus panels. And we'll finish up with the CBID overview. This isn't a new feature or new content, but some of the content is being readdressed just for more clarity and some things that may have slightly changed in the latest release. So let's get started. All right, so one of the changes in Diagnostic Link 821 was to make the OIDC logon the default logon for Diagnostic Link. In the previous version of Diagnostic Link, we had in the server tab a checkbox that will allow users to switch back and forth between SiteMinder and the new OIDC. As you can see here in this illustration, there is no checkbox. You can see the port number is now defaulted for the new server logon. And we'll touch on that as well. I think that that impacts our system requirements for Diagnostic Link, at least for this version. We'll touch on that in a slide ahead here. All right, so another change is the fail engineering correction factor download. So what this basically is an improvement on the server end and with the client tool operation. There was some changes that impacted ECF or engineering correction factor data. It impacted controllers being able to program, for example, single SAM. With this improvement, if there was any server issues where EDEX was not responding, it will cause that controller to not be programmed correctly. Now, with this logic in place, it will prevent that from causing any issues or impacting the reprogramming. So this is a kind of a collaborative effort on the client end to work better with the server end when there's issues, when it's not responding. So just an improvement. This isn't directly connected to DiagnosticLink, but this is something we wanted to reiterate as some fleets and some dealers and distributors still use the legacy DDAC or Detroit DDAC reprogramming software for legacy DDAC 5, DDAC 3, and 4. We did run into an issue after a Windows 10 update where processes may impact or cause problems with the changing of parameters or update customer calibration in DRS. The short of it is that with this update, not an update, but with the change in the Windows update, a process may be causing interference with some of the features of DRS. And there's a workaround to just end that task. And I have it highlighted here. We also published a letter with these instructions, and we also published this on the DRS support site. So if you do run into an issue where you get the service bench application not responding error, follow these instructions. We have multiple links and letters that you can refer to end that task, and you should be able to move forward and make that parameter change in DRS. And I have a link here if you want to go right to the DRS site and look at those instructions. And these slides are already posted on the DiagnosticLink support page, so you should be good there. As I alluded to earlier, there's a system requirement update starting with DiagnosticLink 821. The IT security firewall access will be required for TCP port 443. And DiagnosticLink, the previous version, 820 and earlier, that port number was 48481. Since we have moved to a one version back support policy, meaning we don't support more than two versions back, it's important to know that in this stretch of time where there's DiagnosticLink 821 and DiagnosticLink 820, IT admins should be made aware that both of those ports should be available. And we've updated the system requirements as well with that data. And again, there's a source link there if you want to go and review that on the DiagnosticLink support page, just to review the system requirements if you're replacing PCs or you're looking for any requirements for DiagnosticLink operation. So I added this slide, and Vinky, I don't know if you really have to speak on this. Maybe it'll come up in the QA session, but I thought it was important to inform the field. If you're a fleet user, if you're a dealer and you use the Nexic USB link, we did identify an issue where the USB link 3 connection may drop. If you do run into that issue, through our testing and working alongside Snap-on, a correction was made in the device driver and firmware update. So the short of it is that if you have the Nexic USB link driver 3.2, and I don't know the exact version, as long as you have 3.2.1.3 or later with this firmware version, that should address the concern. I don't know if we have an ETA when that will be posted to the Nexic site, but I'll get that data, and maybe Vinky can speak to that.
Keith, as we talked about in the last meeting, working with the product manager to make it available on the website. I don't have a firm date right now, but as soon as I have it, I'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you, Vinky. So that's the short of it. If you do run into those issues, check your driver version. If you are working with the previous version earlier than the 3.2.1.3 that's listed here, that's something to look out for on the Nexic.com site. And speaking to that, the Nexic site has gone through some redesign. I wanted to make note of that because I do get calls and some emails about not being able to find the Nexic driver download. So I did find it. It's a little different. If you go to the website, Nexic.com, and click on products and vehicle interface. Select your device. There's two for USB Link wireless and USB Link wired. Select your product and scroll to the bottom of the page, and you'll see the link for the Nexic driver download. So I thought that was important to do because I got quite a few emails on that and calls of not being able to find the driver download link after the website redesign.
Keith, I think page is still being worked on to make it a little bit more friendlier. So I think the first revision was, I guess, uh, kind of hard to locate that driver, but we are working on it, making more user friendly.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for that, Vinky.
Yeah.
Okay. Fifth gen Cascadia, new panels and features. This was supposed to be covered by
They're here.
Oh, yeah.
Chris and AJ are here.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks, Chris and AJ. So right on time, Chris, AJ, if you could, why don't you introduce yourselves and we'll go right into the panel review.
Yeah. Good morning and afternoon, everyone. I'm AJ Mastropietro. I'm the Service Diagnostics Team Lead for Vehicle Systems in Portland, Oregon.
And
I'm Chris Breland. I also work for the vehicle side systems for the diagnostics team here in Portland.
awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so for our first panel, the auto config routine, which is normally in the ICC or ICC5, is now being ran through the central gateway. This is only for Gen 5 Cascadia, so any previous versions will still have to use the cluster. This panel should be ran anytime the CGW5 is replaced on the vehicle. This is a new feature with our CBID cybersecurity. This feature allows us to write parameters to the ECU that are protected by our cybersecurity systems. From a user perspective, you shouldn't notice any changes within DiagnosticLink. We have updated the CTP initialization panel to include CTP2 and CTP3. This will also need to be ran when the CTP is installed on the vehicle. This is a troubleshooting panel for our new CMAX system, specifically for our braking and air systems for the SB-SP ECU. This works similar to previous ABS valve activation panels. For our new SATP, this is module that monitors the air quality and removes any water from the air. This is a routine that needs to be ran whenever the wetness state accumulates to a certain number. So this is part of a maintenance routine.
Awesome. Okay. We're going right into the AP4 panel. Leston.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Leston. I'm focused on the autonomous product for us, and the panel that made it into this release is for some new instruments for our sleeper access and baggage doors, so we can tell if they're open or closed or malfunctioning. And that's all I got. These will only appear when obviously the truck has that equipment.
Awesome. Thank you, Leston. Okay, we'll go to our next section. AJ and Dominic, just talk about some of the new panels and features.
So Chris, are you familiar with this one?
Yeah, I can speak to this one. This is a new panel that allows you to view the current parameterized flexible logic in the single SAM or the XMCs to assistant troubleshooting of features. It allows you to see it in a logic gate format that we've become accustomed to.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Mhm.
And Dominic?
This panel is the carb clean check panel. So the purpose of this panel is so that the owner of a truck can run through and make sure that all of his carb signals have run and passed before they go to recertify the truck for their state emissions. Obviously it's only for CPC 4 and newer. I think there's some instructions there to tell you need to warm up the truck to a certain coolant temperature, and you may have to road test it, and then you can just run through here and see if it passes. Typically, if a monitor doesn't run, there's some other kind of fault code or something related that have to be repaired. So it just kind of saves the owner of the vehicle a trip to the certification station.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Dominic.
Yeah, so for vehicles with rear door control modules, we have built a troubleshooting panel that allows you to troubleshoot the DCM-R and DCM driver side and passenger side. These are similar to the front door modules.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Now we'll go to our Freightliner custom chassis school bus EB2 Gen 2 new panels. We got Luttrell Hunt to talk to these.
Hey, Chris. So the battery panel is here to just give a basic overview of battery health, state of charge, and get the user the capacity to sort of look and see if there are any issues or, see what's working with them.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So battery thermal management panel is used to look at all thermal heating and cooling systems in the battery pack. So know if the battery is heating, know if the battery is being cooled, know if it needs to be heated and cooled, and it's for troubleshooting as well.
And just Luttrell, you were cutting out a little bit, just letting you know that.
Okay, sorry, my connection isn't that great where I'm at right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, no worries. Appreciate you.
Okay, so VFD panel monitors all three of our VFDs. So you can see any errors that come with the VFDs, and the VFDs are one used to charge the battery, 12-volt batteries in the vehicle, but they are also used to control different functions like, say, pumps. So VFDs also control pumps as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. So torque converter, this is basically just all of your torque-related signals. Now, engine speed, this is an electric vehicle, so we wouldn't have an engine, but everything else is accurate.
Awesome.
All right. So battery contact, so it's actually battery contactor. And the contactor status is, so the contactors are in a high voltage junction box, and they allow the vehicle to go into high voltage or not. So go into high voltage or disconnect from high voltage. And this panel gives you a basic overview of that process as well as the HVIL status. So if HVIL is open, you can't go into high voltage. If the loop is closed, then you can't go into high voltage. So that's what this panel is for.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. Air compressor monitors all of our air compressor signals. So primary tanks, secondary tanks, currents, just any air compressor functions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. And cabin thermal management panel. So this has to do with all heating and cooling inside the cab, inside the vehicle itself. But we also add some additional functionality on this panel. So you can also look at certain temperatures in the battery cell as well. So this panel is condensing a lot of functions. You also have some service routines on here. So your coolant pump activation and coolant pump deactivation, you are actually able to activate and deactivate it, as well as your chiller, battery, heater. You are able to activate and deactivate those from this panel as well. Okay. And charging panel. So this is all charging functionality. So your state of charge, whether you're plugged into the vehicle or not. We also include emission status on there. A lot of these signals on this panel are for the specific things in the vehicle. We also have the ability to open and close the latch on the charger. So on the charge port itself, there's a lock motor, and you're able to click latch open to disconnect that lock motor, and latch close to close that lock motor, locking the charger into place. All right, so power steering. This is all power steering functions for our power steering pump. You are able to activate the power steering pump, deactivate it. You're able to have it at normal speed, which is about 1500 RPM, default speed, which would be about 800, and see faults and other functions.
Very well. Okay. That concludes all our FCCC school bus new panels. We'll go right into our certificate-based identification for diagnostics, or CBID. Tom, we'll let
Sure.
you have it from here.
All right, great. Just a quick item for everybody. Keith, can you confirm that these slides will be available for the audience that was asked in the Q&A? I said that would. I just wanted to confirm. Yes.
Yep.
And
These slides are posted right now on the DiagnosticLink site. The letter was posted today, so just use that link that you received in your email. You should be able to access these slides.
Great. And then there is one other question from Steve Spielman. Maybe when I'm talking on my topic, somebody could maybe address that as it relates to training. But I'll go ahead and kick off these slides here. This is all about CBID, which is our internal global project for handling our cybersecurity within our truck for where it's introduced in the 5th generation Cascadia. So the CBID project is to be able to support all the cybersecurity features within the truck to make sure DiagnosticLink is capable of talking and commanding the security CUs to do what we need them to do with DiagnosticLink. The next slide. There's a lot here on this slide. Basically, this one here talks about the difference between 820 and 821. So basically with 820, you had to make a change in the configuration to be able to leverage the cybersecurity items, but in 821 is defaulted to on, which Keith already covered in the initial slide that he talked about. So go ahead, next slide. So when you're connecting to a 5th gen Cascadia, in order to do that, you need to be logged into the CBID system, and that can be an online or an offline login. So even though if you're not connected to the internet, you still will have to log in order to properly connect to the Gen 5 or 5th generation Cascadia. And there's a message on the top there. It's kind of small print in this view, but basically you click on that message there and it will bring you to where you need to be to log in. Go ahead, Keith. So this is just showing you how you know if you're logged in or not. So bottom right, the Zenzifi DL is not logged in this case. Once you were to connect this physically to a 5th gen Cascadia, you will get that yellow message across the top. You'll start to see standard connections, J1939 information, but without clicking that top item, to log in, you wouldn't fully log in because the CBID system needs to know who you are as a user in order to connect properly and sufficiently to do its job. Go ahead, next slide.
And I just want to make a quick note here because I get emails on this. So if you're connected to a non-5th gen Cascadia, let's say a GHG 17 or GHG 14, that indicator will read just as it is right there. It'll say not logged in.
Correct.
If there are no CBID enabled ECUs, there's no need for that. So we get questions for that as though something is wrong, but that's only applicable when you're connected to a new 5th gen Cascadia. Just want to make note of that.
Yep. This is a slide of what the login will look like. It should remind you of the single sign-on system that you're used to. So our requirement from an after-sale standpoint on the entire CBID project or cybersecurity project was to minimize as much as possible the impact on you all the users that are out there. So we did some back-end work and pushed our IT folks to make sure that the single sign-on IDs and passwords that you have today would work in this new system. So the back end is taking care of that. So it's knowing who these users that are out in the field are, and any new users that come on board will need to will have their user ID also transacted behind the scenes so that they don't have to do anything specific. Keith, you're not on mute.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Anything more on this one? No, I think we're good.
Nope,
Next
I
slide.
think that's it, Tom. I think
Oh, is it?
nope,
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. Awesome. So we blew through those 30 slides. Good
The
gracious.
only other remark, and I wasn't sure if this was on there or not, just to comment on certs that are downloaded by the CBID system onto DiagnosticLink are good for 120 days. So as a user within DiagnosticLink, you only need to log in online, meaning online as with the internet connectivity, to get updated certifications every 120 days. So if you're doing your normal job that most people do inside shops, these certs will be updated because once it hits the server to upload data or whatever else is, or download packages, those touches of backend servers will update your certifications and restart that 120-day clock. So only use cases where it might be a machine that's used for a road technician or something of that nature. Would there may be a special case where a technician that's a road tech would have to come into a shop or have Wi-Fi connectivity in order to get those updated certs that aren't normally downloaded because they're not normally connected to the internet in some way. So I hope that was clear. We didn't have a slide for it, but I'm hoping that covers that point.
Oh,
All right.
good. Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, well, that concludes our presentation and our slides of the day. I want to thank all the panelists, and we're going to jump into our Q&A now. And Hannah, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can actually see what we're doing here, and so we can see the questions, and I'll try to answer those what we can, and the panelists. So Hannah, can you take that and I saw a couple of hands raised. I saw a question from Steve. I saw a question from Eric Bloom. If we can jump right into that.
Yeah, so from Steve, he's asking, with as many updates taking place in DL, will there be training available to technicians like ARC web-based or ILT trainings?
Generally, there is training. It looks like AJ is answering that, but I know that we don't have the Service Training Academy as part of our panelists today. They can best answer that, but AJ will provide a answer. But generally, all the new panels and the changes in the tool for each release, the Service Training Academy usually handles that, whether it be chassis or powertrain. They usually handle those and add it to the different sections of the ARC training.
Yeah, and
Yep, go ahead.
yeah, we presented these panels to training last week, so they're familiar with them now. Also, any new panels, there will be an associated help file with that panel in DiagnosticLink. And for the panels that should be ran after a component is replaced on the vehicle, we will document the panel information within the R&R guide. Or if there's a fault code that requires a panel is ran, the fault code will call out the calibration procedure as well. So that information is available through those means.
Thank you, AJ. There's another question here from Ryan. Will the check link be available in 821?
Yes,
Think-
it's available now and will be available in 821 also.
Awesome. When did 821 go live? So 821 was officially released last Thursday, December 5th. I'm sorry, December 5th. December 5th, for sure. Late evening, December 5th. When is 821 slated for general? It's available now. So if you're a dealer, you have your TSS regular upload that should happen. If you download from the order site, you should be able to log into your account as long as the subscription status is active. You should be able to see those install bits under the My Account, My Download section to download the new version.
Keith, there was one that I answered, but I'd like to address it as well verbally. So the question was, where and when do we get certs? So certifications are provided when you log into the backend servers automatically. So there's really no extra work unless you are let's say a road tech that doesn't normally necessarily log into backend systems very often. So those should be available, and then whenever the tool asks you to log in order to connect to a 5th gen Cascadia or a future truck, you'll need to do that in order to connect fully to it to get those certifications as needed, or to be logged in correctly for it to know who you are to be able to do those types of activities.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Will it be updated through TSS? Yes. Ronnie, 821 went live in the TSS cloud late evening, December 5th. So you should see it now. There's another question here. What does CEEA CE stand for? I'll give that to AJ.
Yeah, so CEACE is how we refer to it. It is our new architecture. So on that new architecture, we'll have our usual CAN communication lines as well as CAN FD. And as we created this new architecture, we branded it with a new acronym.
Okay. Thank you. Did we answer Eric Bloom's question? I saw it come by. Maybe we answered it because it's not here anymore.
I don't see it in the Q&A answered or
Okay.
items. So maybe Eric can resend that.
Okay, yeah, Eric, if you can't resend your question, I saw your name pop up. I just didn't click it quick enough, unless Hannah answered it. Oh, and Tom answered the when do we get certs? Check is available. Yep. Okay. Any other questions? I don't see any.
Maybe.
Thank you, Latrell. So, AJ gave the definition, excellent, and Latrell put what it actually stands for, the common electrical electronic architecture. So, but thank you both for plugging that in there. Thank you. So again, DiagnosticLink 821 went live late evening, December 5th. It is available through TSS. That's our Tech Service Suite Commercial Tool Program. It went live on the order site. If you have an active subscription, if you log into your account at diagnosticlink.nexic.com and go to my account, and subscriptions, or I'm sorry, my account and my downloads, as long as you have a valid subscription, you should see those install bits there to download and install. Any other questions? Was this format helpful? Could we have done things better? I would love your feedback. You don't have to answer that now, but we hope that this has been informative. We hope this has been helpful. We try to cover these webinars for each major release just to let folks know what's coming down the pipeline, what to expect in the tool. And as AJ mentioned, not only does this go to training, but we author help files in the help menu for each new panel and feature we add, and those new features added to the R&R guide as well. So there's multiple streams of information that you can lean on to get updates. This webinar is being recorded. We will upload it to the DiagnosticLink site. The slides will also be posted there. They're posted there now. And if you have any other questions you didn't think of during this time period, feel free to reach out to us at dtnassd@daimlertruck.com or reach out to me directly. We'll be happy to help and answer questions. And again, I don't see any other questions, so we can wrap things up. Thanks everybody for joining. I thank all our panelists. I think you guys did a great, excellent job. This went very well, in my opinion. And thanks again. You guys have a great rest of your day, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Keith. Bye.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Everybody.
Nice.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day, everybody.
Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, thank you.